Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole, and today we'll be previewing this coming Friday's meeting here from Fanny Bay in Darwin, which will be the 6th of March. As this is the second of three meetings in successive weeks with the St Pat's Cup fixture on Saturday week, the numbers are very light, with the benchmark 76-1200 being deleted at weights due to insufficient numbers. A total of just 21 horses have accepted for the four-race card, which is right on the limit of numbers required to run a meeting. Nevertheless, there are winners to be found, and in the first, the Darwin Cup on Sale handicap over 1600 metres, my numbers are 5, 1 and 2. This for the 0 to 70 gallopers, going here with number 5, New Enterprise. Now, this is probably a tougher race than he's been in lately. In fact, his last race was a 0 to 58. This is 0 to 70, but he's fit. He's been racing regularly, and his run here last week behind I'm a Dreamer over this trip was good. He's won once at this trip, and he's been placed on 6 occasions. Up in grade, as I mentioned, but I just prepared to go with him as well as the grade hop. He's in well in the weights. He carries only 55 kilograms, so he's getting 2.5 kilos and more from each of his 4 rivals, and Aaron Sweeney takes them out for Pete Stennett. So 5 on top, ahead of 1, Awash, Gary Clark trains, Jared Todd rides from the 1 gate. He ran here last week as well, ran second to Vieri. That was a good run, I thought. This is actually a drop in grade. It was a 0 to 76 last week. He's back to a 0 to 70. He doesn't win out of turn, a wash, but he's a grinding type, and this is right up his alley. And then for third, number 2, Rock Revolution. He was a last start winner for Chloe Baxter. That was the 31st of January. Was meant to have a run between then and now. Had a couple of minor issues, but Chloe's got on top of that, I understand. And he has his first run for 5 weeks, but I think he'll run well, hopefully heading towards the St Pat's Cup in a week's time. So numbers in the first are 5, 1 and 2. The second of the 4s, the Bet365 Trobus Handicap. Now this for the 3 and 4-year-old horses. It's an ABR. It's an ABR 60 and a 6-horse field to go around here. My numbers are 3, 1 and 2. Fly, number 3. He's only had the 2 starts back this campaign for Gary Clark and Jared Todd, and he's won them both. He won first up on the 17th of January and then stepped up in grade and into a good quality race. That was the wet season final, and he won. That was 1,300 metres. Rather, it was 1,200 metres. He's had a bit of a break since then, but he goes to the 1,300 metres this time. That was 5 weeks ago, that last run. But he was really good winning that last race, and I think he can do so again to make it 3 in a row. So 3 on top to beat 1 Vanguard Legend, the Guineas winner from last year. Chloe Baxter trains, and Hannah LeBlanc visits from Victoria to take them out. He's only had the 1 run back this campaign. He finished 3rd. That was behind Forms of Fear over 1,200 metres. The extra 100 metres will certainly suit him. He, as well, is heading towards the St Pat's Cup next week, I would expect. And in for 3rd, number 2, Bruno. Raymond Viger aboard. His only ride for the day. Takes them out here for Tayan Halter. He's been racing really well. He won 2 starts back on the 17th of Jan. And then last time out, he finished second to Fly in that wet season final. Arguably should have finished closer. He was slow into stride, then raced wide most of the way and only went down by 1.3 lengths. So he's riding this up to his ears. Numbers in the second are 3, 1 and 2. The Rowan Handicap is race 3. It's over 1,200 metres for the 0 to 58 gallopers, a 5-horse field here. Numbers 3, 4 and 1. Going to number 3, Straya Pride, to give Gary Clark and Jared Todd another win on the day. Was racing really well prior to his last start on the 9th of January, in which he disappointed. Gary's given him plenty of time to get over that run, and I'm prepared to allow him another chance. He was going really well before that disappointing run on the 9th of Jan. He finished second to Rossinato, who's come out and won again since. Might have won twice since. Bryce, he finished 3rd too, and Jumping Power too. So his form was solid, and this isn't the strongest lot on paper. Jared Todd aboard. 3 on top for me ahead of 4. Field of Praise in a new stable these days. That of Phil Cole, formerly trained, of course, by Angela Forster. And Wayne Davis takes them out. In its first run for Coley, that was last week on, rather 3 weeks ago, the 14th of February, years flying by. Finished 3rd behind July. That was a pretty good effort, racing well, deserves to be right in the finish here. And then for 3rd, number 1, Miami Baby. Hannah LeBlanc for Chloe Baxter. Consistent type, doesn't win out of turns, won 3 from 17. Just still not a bad strike rate. And recent form good behind Rossinato, Ankle Rolex, Physical Graffiti and Co. Numbers in the third are 3, 4 and 1. And in the last, it's the 7th heat of the Ladbroke Summer Sprint Series. This over the 1100 metres for the 0 to 64 sprinters. My numbers here are 1, 2 and 3. Physical Graffiti, a last start winner for me. Gary Clark trains, Jared Todd rides. They could be in for a really good day, the boys. They had a winner last week here with Ecclestone, and I've got them to win 3 of the 4 on the card. Physical Graffiti last started on the 9th of January, so another one who's had a few weeks between runs, 8 weeks in fact. But he's been racing, or he was racing well prior to that break. This doesn't look the strongest lot again on paper, and I think he'll be hard to beat. Number 1, Physical Graffiti. Ahead of 2, Miami Vice for Phil Cole and Wayne Davis. Good second here behind Struck Gold. That was just a week ago. He's backing up, but as long as he came through that run okay, he'll be hard to beat. And then for third, number 3, Divine Benet. Only had the one start in Darwin for Chris Nash. And I think it's an improver and is the mount of Dakota Gillette. Dakota, of course, rode a winner for Chris Nash last week, and that was Vieri. So numbers in the last, 1, 2 and 3. Best bet on the days in race 4, number 1, Physical Graffiti. Race 4, number 1, Physical Graffiti. While the best roughie is in race 1, number 4. So swap them around. Race 1, number 4, Maxi Bon, my best roughie of the day. Well, that wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk. We'll be back again next week to preview the annual St Patrick's Race Day. Always a good meeting on the card. I'm certain there'll be more runners than there are at this upcoming meeting on Friday. So until then, good luck and good punting.